Lions fans, we have some exciting news for you today, with a big change being made ahead of Sunday night's highly anticipated matchup against the Minnesota Vikings. If you're excited to see our Lions on the field, hit that like button and leave your support for the team in the comments. Let's go, let's win, go Lions! Now let's get right to it. On Thursday night, the Detroit Lions made a roster move that could be a sign of big things to come for Sunday's season finale. The team released wide receiver Tom Kennedy and signed defensive back Morris Norris back to the practice squad. At first glance, this may seem like a small change, but let's take a look at what this could mean for the Lions roster in the upcoming pivotal game. So why is this significant? Well, this move likely signals that wide receiver and punt returner Kalif Raymond is expected to return to action this week. Kalif has been out for some time, but he has been practicing for the past 2 weeks. With Kennedy handling return duties during Raymond's absence, the timing of this move makes it seem almost certain that Kalif will be back in the lineup for the end of the regular season. His return would add some much-needed depth to the Lions' receiving and special teams core. Now, here's where things get even more interesting. You might be wondering why the Lions didn't fill the existing roster spot that was created earlier this week when they released Norris. Why release Kennedy? Well, Lions fans, there's another possibility at play here, and his name is Anzalone. The Lions linebacker and defensive captain is recovering from a fractured forearm that has kept him out of the lineup for the past 6 games. But good news for all of us, Anzalone was listed as a full participant in Thursday's practice. It's a quick turnaround for the linebacker, who would have to take the field with just 2 full practices and 1 walkthrough under his belt, but the fact that he's practicing at full strength is a great sign. During his Thursday night press conference, Anzalone shared some of the tough decisions he's been grappling with as he works to return to game readiness. Obviously, the doctors and the trainers, they look at what the risks are: wait a week, wait 2 weeks, go through practice, maybe let it go next week or the week after that or this week, he said. So I think for me personally, I think it's like, okay, let's say if something were to happen, would I be okay not playing in the Super Bowl? So I think that's the decision I have to make in my own head, and is it worth it? With Anzalone's return, the Lions' defense could get a big boost. While it's not a guarantee he'll be activated this week, the roster moves made recently give the team the flexibility to bring him back if they decide he's ready to go. And let's be real, Lions fans, our defense could definitely use him, especially heading into such a high-stakes game. The Vikings matchup is more than just another game. It's an opportunity to not only clinch the NFC North crown, but also potentially earn the top seed in the NFC playoffs, giving Detroit a real chance to make a deep run in the postseason. Anzalone's leadership and experience could be just what the Lions need to shore up their defense as they face a talented Minnesota offense. But we want to hear from you, Lions fans. What do you think of these lineup changes? Do you think Kalif Raymond's return will make a big impact? Are you excited to see Anzalone back on the field? How important do you think his presence is to the defense? Let us know in the comments below. Now, let's talk about what could be one of the biggest games in the Super Bowl era of the NFL. It's the Detroit Lions versus the Minnesota Vikings, Week 18 showdown. The stakes? The NFC North title, a potential first-round bye, and of course, the coveted number 1 seed in the NFC. Both teams are 14-2, and the loser, while still heading to the playoffs, will have to hit the road to a wild card game. It's do-or-die time, and we're about to break down what this game means and why Detroit has the potential to come out on top. First, let's look at the heart of the Lions' success this season, the offense. Jared Goff is having a career year, guys. He's posting incredible numbers: 113.6 passer rating, 8.7 yards per attempt, and a completion percentage of 71.7%, ranking him in the top 10 across the league. It's clear that Goff is in the zone. He's been operating at a high level, and with the support of his offensive line, the Lions' passing attack has been electric. Although the pass protection has had its ups and downs throughout the season, the Lions have managed to tighten things up lately, allowing just a 16% pressure rate over the last 5 games. That's huge heading into the showdown against the Vikings defense known for its pass-rushing abilities. Speaking of the Vikings defense, let's take a closer look. They've been solid all year, ranking 2nd in drop-back EPA, 3rd in success rate, and 1st in passer rating allowed. Their defense thrives on pressure, ranking third in sacks and first in interceptions. But here's where the Lions have an advantage: they rarely make mistakes. With just 13 giveaways in the season, fourth fewest in the league, Goff and his offense have a strong track record of avoiding turnovers. If they can keep it clean, they should be able to move the ball through the air against the Vikings' blitz-heavy defense. When it comes to the running game, the Lions' offense has also been productive. Jahmyr Gibbs has stepped up since David Montgomery's injury, and Detroit's offensive line continues to dominate, ranking third in PFF grade and first in adjusted line yards. Despite some inconsistencies in the rushing attack, Detroit ranks 6th in EPA per play and 7th in success rate. It's a solid performance that will be crucial against the Vikings, who have struggled in recent weeks against the run. They've allowed over 100 rushing yards in 4 of their last 5 games, and if Detroit can exploit that, it'll be a key factor in their success. But let's not forget about the other side of the ball. The Lions' defense has had its challenges, especially in recent weeks. They've been hit hard by injuries, and as of late, they've ranked among the worst in several defensive categories. Their pass defense has been particularly porous, ranking 32nd in passer rating allowed, and with Minnesota's passing game being explosive, this could be a crucial point in the game. The Vikings have the likes of Justin Jefferson, who has been unstoppable against the Lions in past matchups, and if Detroit can't tighten up their coverage, Minnesota could have a field day through the air. Now, let's talk about the running game on the Vikings side. Minnesota's ground attack hasn't been spectacular this season. They rank 24th in rush EPA and 28th in yards per carry. The Lions' run defense, despite some inconsistencies, has been decent lately, holding 7 of their last 8 opponents under 100 rushing yards. If they can continue that trend, it'll force the Vikings to rely on their passing game, where Detroit's defense will have a big test ahead of them. As we break it all down, the Lions have the edge in several key areas: the passing game, the running game, and the overall efficiency of their offense. However, the Vikings' ability to create explosive plays and force turnovers could swing this game in their favor. It's going to come down to which team can execute their game plan without making critical mistakes. If the Lions can avoid turnovers, take advantage of the Vikings' weak run defense, and shore up their coverage against Minnesota's explosive passing attack, they'll have a great shot at coming out on top. Now, what do you think, Lions fans? Do you believe that Detroit can clinch the NFC North and secure a first-round bye? Or do the Vikings have too much firepower for the Lions to handle? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Before you go, don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to the channel for all the latest news, game previews, and updates on your Detroit Lions. We've got you covered all the way through the playoffs and beyond. Go Lions!